Cairn Review Print Speaking to the Blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @CairnReview. That is @CuendReview. You can also contact us directly by emailing information@cuenreview.com. That is INFORMATION@CuendReview.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
This week's podcast, published on Wednesday the 19th of June 2024, is read to you by volunteers Alan, Hunter, Ian and Philip. Pupils get safety message. Pupils at Wallacewell Primary in Robroyston were reminded about the danger of playing in or near building sites. Taylor Wimpey West Scotland were at their school as work continues nearby at Monument Way, and the school summer holidays are due to start in just a few weeks' time. Derek Shind of Taylor Wimpey said, "Taking this type of proactive approach allows us to reinforce just how important it is for children to stay away from building sites and remind children that building sites are not playgrounds." Stalker told to stay away. A stalker with an interest in the KKK who tried to keep tabs on a teenage girl to stop her seeing black people has avoided jail. James Malcolm, 24, messaged the 18-year-old and another teenage girl between January 2022 and March 2024. The Snapchat text included a reference to the white supremacist group. Malcolm also patrolled an area in the north of Glasgow where his victim stayed in the hope that he would run into her. He later stated he did this to protect her from mixing with black guys. Malcolm, of Kirkintilloch, described to police about white power and that there would be another Rochdale up here. Malcolm pled guilty at Glasgow Sheriff Court to a single stalking charge. Last week, Sheriff Joanna MacDonald tagged Malcolm for 4 months, keeping him indoors between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. He was also put under supervision for 3 years. The sheriff said, "The social worker took the view that the way to deal with this case was to remit it to a higher court, as this court does not have the powers available to it for an appropriate sentence. This was not an option to me, as the Crown decided to prosecute it in this form, despite your criminal record and the nature of the offence. I have no powers to impose what would have been appropriate, would have been a significant custodial sentence. I must try and impose a sentence to reflect the gravity of the offence which protects the victim and the public from you." A 5-year non-harassment order was also granted which prohibits Malcolm's contact with his victim. The court previously heard that Malcolm initially met the young woman with friends in Glasgow city centre. The pair also met on later chance occasions. It was stated that there were no romantic or intimate relations between them. Around March 2023, Malcolm messaged her on social media chat app Snapchat. Prosecutor Ian Matheson said, "He sent screenshots pertaining to the KKK and spoke about the 5 elements. She had no idea what these messages were about. She suspected that he wanted to engage in a romantic relationship with her. The young woman took screenshots of the messages and blocked Malcolm on social media. Malcolm then contacted another girl who knew the teenager and asked to see her. He also shouted at the girl and claimed that she was preventing him from seeing the other young woman. The girl also took screenshots of messages sent to her by Malcolm. Malcolm then went to the area in the north of Glasgow where he knew his victim resided. He came to the attention of police as he had been the victim of an assault. Malcolm was taken to hospital when inquiries were carried out about what happened, He told officers that he was in the area looking for the young woman, stating that he was chasing lassies. Mr. Matheson added, he said he needed to save her from black guys she has been out with. He said this is another Rochdale up here and that he hoped to bump into her. He described white power and that he wanted to protect her from mixing with black guys. Malcolm also made racial slurs. Contact was made with the young woman meantime, who handed over the screenshots to officers. Martin Hughes, defending, told the court that his client has an unhealthy interest in the organisation mentioned in the narrative. This week in history. June 22, 1941, the German army invaded Russia. On this day last year, commemorations and celebrations took place across the country to mark the bittersweet 75th Windrush anniversary. June 23, 1956, General Nasser became Egypt's first president after an election in which voting was compulsory and he was the only candidate. On this day last year, after an extensive search, a large debris field was found, confirming the missing Titan submersible had suffered a catastrophic implosion, US Coast Guard officials announced. June 24, 1947, the series of flying saucer stories started when a pilot, Kenneth Arnold, reported seeing 9 disc-shaped objects over Mount Rainier, Washington. June 25, 1968, comedian Tony Hancock killed himself in a hotel bedroom in Sydney, Australia. On this day last year, the Princess of Wales was joined 8-time Wimbledon champion Roger Federer for a behind-the-scenes look at the work of the tennis tournament's amazingly professional ball boys and girls. June 26, 1962, a young American tennis player, Billie Jean Moffitt, 18, knocked out top seed Margaret Smith, the match that began Billie Jean King's long reign at Wimbledon. And that was This Week in History, read by me, Ian McKenna.
King gives Liam medal. A Scottish Ambulance Service staff member who has helped develop several key projects has been recognised in the King's Birthday Honours. Liam Coughlin, Head of Programmes at SAS's Programme Management Office, PMO, has been awarded the King's Ambulance Service Medal. Joining the SAS in 2013, Liam, of Lenzie, currently leads a team supporting the delivery of the service's 2030 strategy, which aims to save more lives, reduce inequalities, and improve health and well-being. During his time at SAS, he has been involved with several major pieces of work and previously led the Enabling Technology Programme as part of SAS's 2020 strategy. He has also managed the Ambulance Telehealth Programme, which delivered new ICT infrastructure into our emergency ambulances, and the Integrated Clinical Hub project, which developed how the service responds to 999 calls. Commenting on his award, Liam said, "I was surprised to say the least. My team and the service colleagues that work with us are just fantastic, and it's them that ultimately make our projects a success. So I am really pleased to see the work of the team recognised, albeit through me." Liam said one of his key highlights was to lead the creation of the PMO department, which was formed in 2021. He added, "I've been involved in some major pieces of work that have impacted on every member of staff in some way, shape or form. It's difficult to pick highlights, but some would be working with clinical and operational colleagues to deliver the ambulance telehealth work, and then to see the huge effort that went into delivering new defibrillators into all our A&E vehicles. However, to see my team develop as project professionals and deliver significant change across a wide variety of areas stands above all that. I learned a long time ago that you're only as good as your team, and in the PMO I have a team that are motivated to deliver positive change for their colleagues and patients and will go the extra mile when needed." SAS Chief Executive Michael Dickinson said, "Liam always shows unwavering dedication and devotion to any service programme or project that he manages. In the past few years, Liam has been an integral part of the support and coordination of some of SAS's biggest programmes of work." read by Alan Todd.
Names revealed as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. Voters will have 7 candidates to choose from when they go to the polls on July the 4th. Nominations for the general election closed on June the 7th, and the full list of the names on the ballot paper for the new Mid-Dunbartonshire constituency are Amy Callaghan, SNP, Lorna Dougal, Scottish Labour, Ray James, Alba Party, Alex Matheson, Scottish Conservative, David McNabb, Reform UK, Susan Murray, Scottish Liberal Democrats, Carolyn Scrimger, Scottish Green. People will be able to vote between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. at their designated polling station from the 73 across the region. Voters should remember they need to take photo ID to the polling station or they will not be able to complete their ballot paper.
Be a buddy to Bravehound. A charity which provides specialist assistance dogs for veterans is asking people to pause and consider if they could be a volunteer. Bravehound, which was founded in 2013, works across Scotland but has its headquarters in Lennoxton. It is looking for short-term volunteers in this area to look after a dog before the pooch is impaired with former service personnel. The volunteers would be much needed Bravehound buddies. The role involves having one of the organisation's dogs, which could be a puppy or a young dog, living with you for anything between 2 and 6 months while it undergoes basic training and socialisation. During this time, volunteers are fully supported by a Bravehound trainer and all costs such as food, equipment and vet care are paid. Sarah Plummer, Bravehound's operations manager, said, "Our dogs are life-saving and life-changing. They go to veterans struggling with psychological conditions such as PTSD as a result of military service. We know there are many people who love dogs but don't want to commit to having one full-time. Becoming a Bravehound buddy solves this problem. We're also looking for people who might look after a dog for a few weeks while a veteran is on holiday or in hospital, for instance. All help is appreciated." To find out more and to discuss in more detail becoming a Bravehound volunteer, email hello@bravehound.co.uk. That's HELLO@BRAVEHOUND.co.uk, or call 0141 739 8940.
People living long and healthy. New research has revealed people in East Dunbartonshire have a longer healthy life expectancy than most other regions in Scotland. The information comes from the latest Health State Life Expectancies ONS report and has been compiled by Harlow Leisure Zone. Healthy life expectancy is described as an estimate of lifetime spent in very good or good health based on how individuals perceive their general health. The data revealed that people in East Dunbartonshire's average healthy life expectancy is 66.55 years. Highest in Scotland and the UK is Orkney at 74.35 years, with Nahin Aileen Shia and East Renfrewshire having the second and third highest average healthy life expectancies at 67.9 and 67.85 respectively. Glasgow City, North Lanarkshire and North Ayrshire sit at the bottom of the table with 56.7, 56.05 and 55.7 years. There's an 18.65 year difference between top of the table Orkney and bottom of the table North Yorkshire. Dave Marrington from Harlow Leisure Zone said, "There are many things people can do to live a long, healthy life. A healthy, balanced diet is the first thing to consider. Make sure you eat plenty of fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins and healthy fats. Make sure you exercise too. At least 150 minutes of moderate or 75 minutes of vigorous activity will do the job. Don't forget about sleep either. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep per night. Homes unveiled. More properties have been released for sale on Avent Homes development at Darragh Fields. House builder Avent Homes Scotland is showcasing 2 new 5-bedroom family detached homes for sale at its £57 million 167 home Darragh Fields development in Rob Royston. Located just off Daffodil Place, Rob Royston, the site will eventually have 167 homes, featuring 12 of the developer's house types. Offers a mix of 3, 4 and 5 bedroom family homes. The new homes to view are the Rothsay at £395,000 and the Stirling, which is available at £440,000. Both homes benefit from Avent Homes' practical design and energy efficiency and are available with a range of incentives, including part exchange, LETT paid, a floor package worth up to £7,000 and a £5,000 gift voucher for either IKEA or John Lewis. Choir rocking into the summer. A concert will help to raise money for Scottish Women's Aid and St Gregory's Food Bank. Organised by Mulgine Bearsden Rock Choir members, it takes place tomorrow, Thursday at 7 p.m. and will last an hour at the New Kilpatrick Church in Bearsden. It is not ticketed, although donations will be accepted on the door. Jennifer Scowler leads the choir and has done since she started it 13 years ago. She said the choir continues to grow from strength to strength, and it's so wonderful to have so many loyal members that stay with the choir year after year. Anyone who loves to sing is welcome to join us, and our summer performance is open to everyone, not just friends and family.
380 years of Old Kirk. People can step back in time as they explore one of Kirkintilloch's most iconic buildings. The Old Kirk Museum in the town is hosting a free exhibition until August 8th to mark the 380th anniversary of the building. The structure is Category A listed, which is given to buildings of special architectural or historic interest which are outstanding examples of a particular period, style or type. It began life as St Mary's Parish Church in 1644, designed to resemble the shape of a Greek cross with traditional Scottish crow-stepped gables. The 1644 date stone is still visible on the exterior south gable wall. A growing congregation led to a new St Mary's being built at its current location on Cowgate near the Forth and Clyde Canal. It was completed in 1914. The Old Kirk building continued to be used for many years as a Sunday school, passing into the care of the town council and then opening as a museum in 1961, following refurbishment by John Laird and his son. Since 2011, the museum, which has a 4-star Visit Scotland rating, has been managed by Eastern Bartonshire Leisure and Culture (EDLC) Trust. It attracts thousands of visitors every year from across the council area and beyond. Karen Jackson, General Manager of EDLC Trust, said, "The Old Kirk Museum has hosted many wonderful exhibitions and events over the years, so it's only right that, on its 380th anniversary, we focus on the building itself. Times have changed massively since it became an iconic fixture locally, but it has survived and thrived. I hope as many people as possible take the chance to visit the free exhibition and explore its fascinating history. As well as photographs and information from the past, you can also see some of the objects that have been in the museum's collection the longest. The Old Kirk has a permanent display on the history of Kirkintilloch, including one of the iconic red telephone boxes created by the Lion Foundry, and a changing exhibition space which showcases work by a range of local, national and international artists. The Old Kirk Museum in Cowgate is open Tuesday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m, closed Sunday and Monday.
£1.8 million of drugs recovered. A man was arrested after police seized drugs with a street value of £1.8 million. Officers were acting on information when they raided a house in Wallacewell Road, Rob Royston, on June the 6th and recovered 22.8 kilograms of the Class A drug. A 38-year-old man has been arrested and charged in connection with the offence. Detective Chief Inspector Laura Sands of Police Scotland's Organised Crime and Counter-Terrorism Unit said, "This is a significant recovery and sends a clear message that we will not tolerate illegal drugs in our communities. Our officers are determined to protect members of the public from this harmful criminality. We will continue to work with partner agencies to tackle this issue. Information from the public is absolutely crucial to our work, and we would continue to urge anyone with knowledge or concerns about drugs in their area to contact Police Scotland on 101. You can also speak to Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111.
Community celebrates 100 years of girl guiding. A century of girl guiding in Torrance was celebrated by those involved with the organisation. Members and volunteers past and present took part in a series of events in recent weeks, with the first an afternoon tea on May the 12th at the Broadcroft Hotel in Kirkintilloch, which was attended by 73 guests. Some travelled from as far as Hampshire and Frankfurt to reunite with their girl guiding friends at the gathering. Special guests included Clara Gillespie, the oldest former girl guide in Torrance, who had the honour of cutting the celebratory cake, alongside 11-year-old Niamh Foy, a member of the second Torrance Guides. The moment was particularly poignant as Niamh's grandmother was also a former Brownie, guide and Tawny Owl in the village. Memory boards, packed with pictures and memorabilia from decades past, offered a visual journey through the rich history of girl guiding in Torrance. The second event was a district 100th anniversary party on May the 30th for rainbows, brownies and guides, leaders and parents, which 75 people attended. The festivities continued at Saturday's Campsie show, where second Torrance girl guide Maya Lennox was crowned this year's Torrance Gala Queen. The 13-year-old has been involved with girl guiding since 2016, when she joined Rainbows at the age of 5. She was the first in her unit to make her promise to Makaton. Mia, who is a pupil at Woodland View High School, was joined at the Campsie show by fellow girl guiders Lucy Campbell and Lila Finlay, who were her attendants. Many of the village's rainbows, brownies and guides took part in the parade. Concluding the celebrations was a district centenary sleepover last week. The first meeting of girl guiding in Torrance took place on May 30th, 1924, led by Captain Sheena Peary. She served the role for more than 40 years. She recorded the girls' activities in logbooks, which are treasured by the district. She was a true inspiration, said Margaret Hyde, leader of Second Torrance Guides and organiser of the centenary celebrations. Captain Peary was a much-loved force in Torrance. Decades of her lovingly preserved logbooks are full of sketches, emblems and photos of a unique social history and period of time. They offer evidence of the legacy left by her to all of us and how she will not be forgotten. As the girl guiding units in Torrance wind down for the summer break, a plea has been issued for volunteers to come forward. Margaret added, "To ensure the future of girl guiding in Torrance and Miss Peary's legacy, we are looking for volunteers to get involved in the running of our units. A key role we urgently need to fill is the unit leader of Second Torrance Brownies. The role can be flexible and can be carried out by one person or a small team of people on a rota basis. There are also a number of leadership vacancies in First Torrance Rainbows and Second Torrance Guides. If you are able to help, email digital@girlguiding.dumbartonshire.org.uk. That's DIGITAL @GIRLGUIDINGBARTONSHIRE.org.uk. Girl Guiding is for girls aged from 4 to 18. To register your child, or for more information about volunteering, visit www.girlguidingbartonshire.org.uk.
Launch of new charity. A new charity offering mental health counselling to young people, adults and families has launched. Founded in May, All Minds held a barbecue earlier this month to celebrate its launch, and over 100 people joined them in the newly landscaped gardens of their offices in Townhead. The All Minds team came together with the local community to celebrate this new beginning. A great day was had by all, with all ages involved in face painting, rock painting, hook a duck, axe throwing, jewellery making and much more. A spokesperson explained that the charity's overall goal is to offer help and support to any young person or adult who is dealing with the challenges of mental health. They said, "Our counselling rooms are based in Townhead in the centre of Kirkintilloch, and a team of fully qualified therapists offer one-to-one sessions in our base. We are able to offer sessions for £40, and we have some funding we can use if families can't afford that. We would like to thank Eastern Bartonshire Council for the funding which allowed us to upgrade and redevelop our garden, and Caledonian Knotweed Specialists Limited for taking on the project." Ian from CKS came back to help with the barbecue, and Malcolm Allen Family Butchers donated the food for the day. The group is keen to hear from anyone who would like to get involved in sponsorship opportunities, as well as those requiring more information about the charity and what it offers. Call 0141 471 7272 or email info@allminds.org.uk.
Housing plan for Old School. A former school building in Rob Royston could be sold to a housing association. Talked over deals for buildings at the former Gadburn School, Rob Royston and Broomhill Primary, Glasgow, are expected to be approved next week. Partick Housing Association is interested in the old schoolhouse from the original Broomhill Primary on Beechwood Drive. Built in the 1970s, the 3-bedroom bungalow served as a janitor's house. Glasgow City Council officials have reported the property had been declared surplus by Education Services. The council's arm's-length firm, City Property, will negotiate a deal with the housing association if councillors approve the proposal. They're also being asked to allow the start of talks with Wheatley Homes over the former Gadburn Schoolhouse on Rockfield Road. The 3-bedroom bungalow, with a garden to the front and back, was built in the 1980s. It was also built for use as a janitor's house. The two deals would be the latest to involve the sale of the old schoolhouses to housing associations, after councillors agreed the former St Paul's Primary Schoolhouse on the Barton Road could be sold to White Inch and Scotstoun Housing Association for £200,000 in March. At that meeting, they also agreed to sell a former janitor's house for White Hills Secondary School to Milnbank Housing Association for £225,000. The sales come as the city faces a housing emergency, with unprecedented pressure on homeless services and a shortage of social housing. Hidden dangers warning. Stay safe and don't take risks. Scottish Water is urging people to stay safe, behave responsibly, and not take risks around watercourses such as reservoirs, rivers, lochs and beaches this summer. The latest figures from the National Water Safety Forum, NWSF, show that in 2023 there were a total of 47 accidental drownings in Scotland and 236 across the UK. They also show that in the past 5 years there have been a total of 226 accidental drownings in Scotland, and that the nation had a drowning rate of 8.63 per million people last year, more than double the UK average of 3.49 per million. The call from Scottish Water for people to stay safe follows some antisocial and dangerous behaviour by groups of young people in recent years at some of its reservoirs, including Mulgai in Eastern Bartonshire, Pickardlaw in Eaglesham, East Renfrewshire, and Gladhouse in Midlothian. This included vandalism, littering and diving from water towers, which are working parts of the reservoirs. Peter Farrer, Scottish Water's Chief Operating Officer, said, "While people should enjoy any good weather we have this summer and take pleasure around the country's beautiful lochs, reservoirs, rivers and beaches, it's absolutely vital they stay safe at all times and behave responsibly. As a number of tragic deaths in recent years have shown, safety is a serious issue in all bodies of water. At reservoirs, while the water may look harmless, there are many hidden dangers. We need to ensure everyone is aware of these hazards. We are reminding parents to keep children safe and asking adults to act responsibly around reservoirs and other watercourses. Deep, cold water is a particular danger at reservoirs, which are working parts of Scottish Water's infrastructure. Dams, steep banks, spillways, overflows, and underwater pipework can also present real hazards. Caroline McAvoy, Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents Senior Policy Manager, said, "On warm days it can be tempting to enter the water to cool down, but please remember that open water in Scotland tends to be much colder than anticipated and can lead to cold water shock. Cold water shock is an involuntary response to the body being suddenly immersed in cold water. It can affect your ability to move, swim and breathe. We recommend learning more about cold water shock and water safety in general by learning the Water Safety Code and knowing what to do in emergency. All this information is freely available on the website at watersafetyscotland.org.uk. That's watersafetyscotland.org.uk. Many of Scotland's water's reservoirs are situated in remote locations, meaning mobile phone reception can be poor. In the interest of public safety, the company does not encourage swimming in its reservoirs. Its reservoir safety advice is also targeted at pet owners. One of the biggest concerns with dog owners is when their pet gets in trouble in water and the owner dives in to help. Sometimes the dog survives, but the owner doesn't. The Royal Lifesaving Society UK is backing Scottish Water's advice during its annual National Drowning Prevention Week campaign from June 15th to 22nd. Matt Croxall, head of charities, said, "In the last 5 years, West Central Scotland has been named as the area with the most accidental drownings of 36, which is over 3 times higher than the Scottish average. With the summer holidays coming and families enjoying staycations across popular destinations in Scotland, it is even more vital that everyone has a strong understanding of what to do if they find themselves or someone else in trouble in the water. Scottish Water Reservoir Rangers will be promoting safety this summer at reservoirs including Milngavie, Gladhouse and Carron Valley, North Third and Kilpatrick Hills in Stirlingshire." Learning to swim. More than 80,000 children across Scotland are receiving water safety lessons to mark Drowning Prevention Week this year. The Learn to Swim National Framework, a partnership between Scottish Swimming and Scottish Water, is driving a major push to teach kids across the country. Ewan Lowe, Scottish Swimming CEO, said, "With Scotland's abundance of coastlines, lochs, rivers and reservoirs, it's absolutely vital that children learn water safety. As summer approaches, many kids will be eager to swim, so we're on a mission to prove that the skills for them to do safely and confidently." Lessons being delivered across Scotland this week will be specifically tailored to integrate crucial water safety skills. For more information on Learn to Swim, visit learntoswim.scot. That's LEARNTOSWIM.SCOT.
Finding the words to help parents who are grieving. Most people who know someone affected by pregnancy or baby loss in Scotland want advice on starting conversations sensitively. According to a survey published on Monday by the charity SANDS, which works to save babies' lives and support bereaved families, 74% of people would like advice. The charity has launched its Finding the Words campaign during its annual SANS Awareness Week to help everyone feel more confident to start these important conversations. A lack of conversation about bereavement matters because of the impact on bereaved parents when no one asks about their loss. Just under a third, 27% of people surveyed in Scotland who had been personally affected by pregnancy or baby loss said they felt isolated or lonely when no one asked them about what had happened. Significantly, those parents who did have the opportunity to talk about their loss said they felt relieved to be able to talk about what happened, 59%, that they and their baby mattered, 50%, and that a weight had been lifted, 19%. Claire Harmer, SAN's chief executive, said, "Talking to someone about pregnancy loss or the death of their baby can sometimes feel difficult, and you might be worried about saying the wrong thing. But bereaved parents tell us that when friends, family and colleagues reach out and connect, it lets them know they aren't alone with their grief. It can be as simple as saying, 'I'm so sorry, would you like to talk about your baby?' The good news is that pregnancy and baby loss is no longer a taboo subject in the way it once was. We are now seeing the subject being featured in storylines on TV soap operas. Celebrities and social media influencers are using their platforms to talk about their experiences, and many more bereaved parents feel able to openly share about their losses on social media. This all helps to break the silence, but there are still barriers to talking about pregnancy and baby loss. Our Finding the Words campaign will give everyone simple ways to show bereaved people that they care. To find out more, visit the SANS website.
King is our patron. Cancer charity Walk the Walk is delighted that His Majesty King Charles III has been confirmed as the charity's patron. As the former Prince of Wales, His Majesty first agreed to become Walk the Walk's patron in 2004. The announcement that the King is to continue his patronage was made to celebrate the first anniversary of his coronation. His own views on integrated and holistic cancer care, ethical and environmental issues, and the belief that everyone has their own potential for good health and well-being are well known and fully aligned with the charity. Nina Barrow, Walk the Walk founder and chief executive, said, "I'm thrilled that His Majesty King Charles III has agreed to continue as Walk the Walk's patron. It is absolutely wonderful to have his royal seal of approval."
Summer sessions to help young people stay safe. A new Scotland-wide summer campaign by Fearless, the youth service of Crime Stoppers, has been launched by Minister for Victims and Community Safety, Siobhan Brown. The campaign, funded by Network Rail Scotland, will focus on key topics including pro-social behaviour, violence prevention and the importance of speaking up to make communities safer. Together with partners, the youth service kicked off the campaign with one of several Fearless summer sessions planned to be held over the summer holidays in locations across Scotland. The charity hope that by engaging with young people on social media platforms and their local communities, it will ensure that as many young people as possible are empowered. Lindsay McDade, Fearless Scotland manager at Crime Stoppers, said, "With the summer holidays just around the corner, I'm delighted to be launching our summer campaign with support from our partners and the Minister for Victims and Community Safety, Siobhan Brown. Summer holidays can be a challenging time for some young people without the structure and safety of school, so it's vital that they're aware of key ways to keep themselves and their friends safe and making positive choices. We hope all young people in Scotland have a happy, safe summer. Remember, if you know information about crime, you can speak up at fearless.org. That's fearless.org. 100% anonymously, 24/7, 365 days a year." Siobhan Brown, Minister for Victims and Community Safety, added, "We want all young people to enjoy their summer break responsibly so they can have fun while keeping themselves, their friends and their community safe. It is vital that young people know that if they see any behaviour that concerns them, they can report it anonymously through Fearless, either online at fearless.org or by calling 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Innes Keith, Health, Safety and Environment Director at Network Rail Scotland, added, "We're proud to be supporting the campaign. During the summer holidays, we often see an increase in young passengers using rail services. It's vital they stay safe when travelling." Census helps to map out veterans in Scotland. A total of 176,100 UK Armed Forces veterans were living in Scotland at the last census, according to new statistics from the National Records of Scotland. It is the first time census data has been collected on veterans living in the country. The figure means 3.9% of people aged 16 and over at the time of the census had previously served in the UK Armed Forces. Half of all veterans, 50.4%, in Scotland were aged 65 and over, and just under one third, 30.6%, were aged 50 to 64. John Roth-Smith, NRS Census Statistics Director, said, "This is the first time Scotland's census has ever collected data on veterans. It provides a unique insight enabling governments, local authorities and charities to shape support for veterans and their families. The high percentage of veterans in the oldest groups is explained by war service up to 1948 and national service from 1939 to 1960. Around 1 in 5 people aged 85 and over had previously served in the UK Armed Forces. If you look specifically at males, we see that over half of all males aged 85 and over had previously served. While the majority of veterans in Scotland were male, 88%, the census recorded 20,600 female veterans across Scotland. The local authorities with the highest percentage of the population that were veterans tended to be in areas with larger military bases. Moray had the highest, with 9% of the population aged 16 or over having previously served. In the City of Edinburgh and Glasgow City Council areas, veterans made up a smaller proportion of the population, but they were among the areas with the largest numbers of veterans. Fife, the third biggest council area by population, had the highest number of veterans with 17,200. Some 6.7% of households in Scotland included at least one UK Armed Forces veteran. The majority, 72%, served in the regular UK Armed Forces. A further 22% served in the Reserved Armed Forces and 6% served in both. Lindsay Wallace, Poppy Scotland's Public Affairs Manager, said, "We welcome the release of this data and thank the National Records of Scotland for including a question in the census on service in the UK Armed Forces. This is the first time in history that such detailed data on this demographic will be available. But, of course, what we do know already is the needs of Scotland's Armed Forces community are multiple and complex in nature. In the previous year, we supported more than 1,500 beneficiaries. That's more than 4 beneficiaries every single day of the year. This data will be used to ensure our policies and welfare provisions are tailored to meet the needs of every single veteran and their households in Scotland. We will also be using this data to inform policymakers of what they could and should be doing to better support veterans in Scotland." Hannah Pearce, the Royal British Legion's Director of Campaigns, added, "Like Poppy Scotland, we recognise that not every single veteran in Scotland will require support, but this data will allow us to tailor our support and asks of policymakers, in turn allowing us to champion veterans in Scotland in the most effective way possible." Wednesday the 19th of June 2024, the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs letters page. Let's talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNScotland.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Scottish economy untruths. Sir, it never fails to amuse me when British nationalists such as Mr. Scott submit letters to the Kirkintilloch Herald for the sole purpose of SNP bashing. Mr. Scott writes, "Let's face it, Scotland's own political scene is in a horrendous state in most sectors under the SNP/Green Alliance and has no chance of recovery until the inept administration is ousted by the electorate." He goes on to write more untruths about the Scottish economy. I can only assume that Mr. Scott thinks that the electorate who have voted for the SNP, myself included, are in his British nationalist mind all stupid. I therefore include part of a great article from the Glasgow Herald, June 11th, written by E. McConnell, Group Business Editor. Scotland was a standout performer among the UK nations and regions last month, with its private sector economic growth accelerating to the fastest pace in 2 years, a key survey shows. This strong showing is revealed in the latest PMI, Purchasing Managers Index, report by the Royal Bank of Scotland, published today. The survey shows that Scotland's private sector growth in May was second fastest among the UK's 12 nations and regions. The acceleration in growth in Scotland contrasted with a slowing of expansion of overall UK private sector economy last month. Scotland will flourish when independent, just as the 65 other countries who gained their independence from the UK, and the sooner the better. Yours, etc., Miss A. Smart, Milton of Campsie. Migration theory. While Scotland has many features to attract people to live here, I wonder if the SNP hierarchy have ever thought that its failure to attract sufficient workers may not be a product of UK government immigration policy. Perhaps the toxic atmosphere generated by the independence debate and a possible reluctance of people from other parts of the UK to settle here is one outcome. Yours, etc., Richard Perry, by email. If politicians were serious. Sir, if politicians were serious about helping us during this cost of living crisis, they would keep tax and national insurance at present rate and increase the personal tax allowance up to £16,000. To help our high streets and local businesses, all goods, services and utilities bought with a human being should have a VAT reduced by 50%, and everything else purchased online or by phone should have a VAT increased by 10% of present rates. Yours, etc., Lionel McMillan, by email. Magic money. Sir, the various election protagonists are now assuring us that each of their schemes is fully costed and will be financed from savings made elsewhere. But, now that we are simply creating unbacked fiat flat money from thin air via the banking system, there is no need for such fiscal responsibility. In 1997, our national debt was a mere £350 billion. Today it is about £2.6 trillion, 8 times as much, all of it magic flat money, only supported by our belief in its issuer, and without any real backing such as gold. So, for as long as we have faith in the ability of our government, it can continue to finance the whims of its various ministers with this magic money. The key word here, of course, is faith. Yours, etc., Malcolm Parkin, by email. Lacking judgment. Sir, that Lord Cameron did not forcefully tell Rishi Sunak that his duty as PM was to attend the main D-Day commemoration and refused to take his place shows the judgment of both to be abysmal. What a lack of common sense and political nous. Clearly both needed a period spent in Sunak's proposed national service. Moreover, what an insult to the UK, to Presidents Biden and Macron, our allies in World War II, our serving forces, and to the veterans. Yours, etc., John Burkett, by email. Swinny Odd. Sir, it's hard to follow political arguments at times, though when First Minister John Swinney is involved, it is all the time. I've just listened to him advise the next UK government to raise taxes as in Scotland. But isn't Scotland the lowest tax part of the UK? It is according to the SNP, even though, as Swanee seems to be admitting, it isn't. Now don't get me started on their policy on the North Sea oil, or what is a woman. Yours etc. Ken Curry, by email. Fresh hope for new treatments. A £2 million project in Scotland aims to uncover what causes cancer in babies before they're even born. Cancer Research UK has awarded £2,014,449 for the study, led by Professor Catherine Ottersbach of the University of Edinburgh, to find factors driving leukemia while babies are still in the womb or in the early weeks after birth. Leukemia is a type of cancer which affects blood cells, causing them to be produced incorrectly or in too great or too few numbers. In infants, it is most commonly caused by a chromosomal rearrangement of it in a gene called MLL, mixed lineage leukemia. Professor Ottersbach's team hopes to discover how the liver and bone marrow fetal and neonatal microenvironments in infants are manipulated by cancerous cells to help the disease develop, as the liver and bone marrow are the key to the production of blood cells. The research team hopes its findings will be able to establish new treatments. Professor Catherine Ottersbach said, "We know that the causes of leukemia in young infants are present before these children are born. By studying in detail the systems which create blood in the body, we hope we can establish what is driving this disease within these very young children. If we pinpoint these drivers, we may be able to target these and find newer existing therapies which can stop the cancer developing." The investment was welcomed by Kerry Patton of Turriff, Aberdeenshire, whose daughter, Amelia, was diagnosed with leukemia, aged just 3 weeks old, in December 2017. Amelia had two types of leukemia: acute lymphoblastic leukemia and acute myeloid leukemia. After 2 stem cell bone marrow transplants, she's cancer free and just finished primary 1. Kerry said, "To be told our baby had 2 types of cancer was devastating, but Amelia has been a fighter from the day she was born. If this research can help other children, that would be fantastic." Leukemia is the most common cancer in children. Dr. Catherine Elliott, Cancer Research UK Research Director, said, "This will hopefully set us on the path to treatments, offering hope to families now and in the future." Race remains majority in hate crime. A report on hate crime in Scotland 2023-24 has just been published. It brings together figures on race crime and on crime motivated by prejudice related to religion, disability, sexual orientation and transgender identity, reported up to March 31st this year. In 2023-24, the total number of charges reported was 5,992, 1.5% more than 2022-23. This is the highest number of reported since 2011-12. The majority of hate crime charges contained a racial element. However, the proportion has decreased from the last 10 years from 73% in 2014-15 to 57% in 2023-24. Sexual orientation aggravated crime is the second most commonly reported hate crime. The proportion of hate crime charges containing prejudice to sexual orientation increased from 16% in 2014-15 to 30% in 2023-24.
Good day to you. It's Philip here, reading the church news in the JPI Herald newspaper. And there's not so many church news this week. Maybe God's taking a holiday. And first, we go to the Church of God in Kirkintilloch at Regent Hall, Regent Street. Our coffee corner is now closed for the summer break and will recommence on Wednesday, August the 21st. Our next Sunday service is on June the 23rd at 11:30 a.m. and the speaker will be Dr. Carol Smith. A warm invitation is to all who are able to join us for a message from the Bible. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website. Yes, the usual www.regenthall.org. I am the bread of life, and whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. And that's from John chapter 6, verse 25. And now to Lindsay Old. Quite short, this one. Sunday service is at 11 a.m, led by Julie Harty. A creche is available for children under 3, and the Quilt and Craft Group meet every Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon in the session room. And then back to Bishopbriggs and St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs, and the minister there is Paul Watson. There is a communion service in the chapel on Thursday, June the 20th at 11 a.m, and at 9 a.m. on Sunday, June the 23rd. The 10:30 a.m. communion service will be with hymns, yes, and on Sunday the 23rd is in the church. Pre-service prayers from 10 a.m, 10:15 p.m, quite a short service for prayers there, from until June the 30th is in the St Andrew's Chapel. This will be to commit the service to God and to pray for the needs of the community. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay for tea, coffee and fellowship afterwards. Sunday, June the 23rd at 5:30 p.m, hustings for mid-Dumbartonshire at St James in person and online via a dedicated Zoom link. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date information, refer to our social media page, and that is on Facebook, St James Les Bishopbriggs, and then their website is usual www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. And now to Springfield Cambridge Church. Morning worship on Sunday, June the 23rd, will be conducted by the Reverend Ian Taylor in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. An offering will be taken during the service. Please place your offering in the offering plates as they are passed around the congregation. Tea and coffee will be served in the Cameron Hall after morning worship. Come and enjoy the fellowship. The Sunday school meets in room 2, where creche facilities are also available. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and in the Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. There will be a vestry hour on Wednesday, June the 19th from 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. For anyone who would like to speak with the minister, there will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, June the 19th from 11:10 to 11:30. That's AM, of course, followed by tea and coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. The Guild is inviting the congregation to join them in supporting the East Dumbartonshire Food Bank warehouse by bringing donations and leaving them in the cupboard in the cloakroom. A list is attached to the cupboard identifying specific items specially requested. And now to Kirkintilloch, St Mary's Parish Church. The church on Sunday, June the 23rd, will begin at 11 a.m. as usual and will be taken by the Reverend Ruth Morrison. There will be age-appropriate activities in the halls during the service. Wednesday welcome continues on Wednesday, June the 19th, when tea, coffee and home baking will be available from 10 a.m. till 11:30 a.m. This will be followed by a short service taken by the Reverend Ruth Morrison. The Monday Craft Group meets at 2 p.m. in the session house, that is. Everyone is welcome. On Sunday, June the 23rd, an evening of praise will take place in the church beginning at 7 p.m. And then to Kenmure Parish Church. Sheena Reid leads our worship this Sunday, beginning at 11 a.m. And all are welcome to attend either in person or online on our YouTube channel. The services on YouTube can be watched live as it is streamed or later at a time that suits you. You can find our channel by simply searching Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. Teas and coffees and a time of fellowship follows the end of the church service. The most up-to-date details of all our groups that are currently running may be found on the WhatsApp section of our website, kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. And if you'd like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmuirchurch@icloud.com. And then to Kirkintilloch, home church, which is in Lammermuir Road, Kirkintilloch. You also have a home church in the East End in Carmyle, and an online service as well for all ages. Yes, my soul finds rest in God. My hope comes from him. Psalm 62, verse 5. Sunday, June the 23rd, 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. for morning worship, followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you at either church service, which will be identical. Children's Sunday school at both services and creche. Home church, Carmyle, 10 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. Tuesdays, Bible study on Zoom at 2:30 p.m. Wednesdays, prayer meeting at Carmyle, 10:15 prayer meeting in the war room, 7:15 p.m. Thursdays, football. Fridays, craft and coffee, 10 till 12 noon. Youth group meets at 7:30 p.m. Home radio is also available every day. See Facebook, Instagram and Home Church website for the latest information for Carmyle and Kirkintilloch. And hopefully you've tuned into the Home Church radio. And if you tune in on a Monday night between 8 and 9, you'll hear my dulcet tones as I present many stories and things that are happening across the world in the mission field. And now we move to Lenzie Union Church in Lenzie, of course. And the services are joint services throughout the summer for July. So July only. July the 7th, 11 a.m, Lenzie Old Parish. July the 14th, 11 a.m. at the Old Parish. July the 21st, Lenzie Old. July the 28th, Lenzie Union. August the 4th, Lenzie Union. August the 11th, Lenzie Union. And cluster group service, we invite our friends from Lenzie Old, St Mary's and St David's Memorial Park churches to these combined services. Then we move to the outskirts to Milton or Campsie and their church there. They thank all who came to Fruitarama last Sunday. Our next Go Mad event, Polarity, will begin on Sunday, July the 28th and run through to the concert on August the 8th. And these are events for kids and the youth in the area. Cafe Connect is on Tuesday morning. This is the final meeting of the session and everyone is invited to Go Mad, open afternoon on Sunday, August the 4th from 2 p.m. onwards. Time to pray is on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. This will be followed by a Teams meeting at 7:45 p.m. Preparations are now being made for SU Camp at Gowan Bank during the first week of school holidays and Go Mad Polarity beginning July the 28th. Our Summer Sunday series is on early church. The next Sunday we meet Saul on the road to Damascus. Send us a picture of yourself with a light of any description. Then lastly to Colston Well Park Church. All are welcome to our summer services at Colston Well Park Church starting at 11 a.m. The service will be conducted by the Reverend Malcolm Cuthbertson, followed by tea and coffee in the hall after the service. The Art Club has now closed for the summer season and will restart in late August. If, however, you're interested in joining the Art Club, please give Ramsey a call on 07709 584 680. For more information, this Wednesday, the Colston Tea Break continues from 11 till 12:30 p.m. And everyone is welcome to come along for good food, good chat and good company. And of course, it's free. Thank you for staying tuned thus far for the church news here in the Eastern Bartonshire area. Glad to have you along. Hope you are interested in some of the church events that are happening. And if you fancy a day out or a night out on Sunday, that's Sunday the 23rd at 7 p.m. in the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall, you can come and hear a choir of 400 from 190 churches across Scotland who meet to worship and praise God. And tickets can be obtained at the door of the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall. Hope to see you there. I'll be there. God bless you. Have a good day.
District News General from Wednesday the 19th of June. Kirkintilloch Canal Festival. The annual celebration of all things nautical and nice will take place on the weekend of August 31st to September the 1st. Charity, Youngster cycles West Highland Way. Children in Malawi. A young teenager from Edinburgh is aiming to cycle the West Highland Way in just 24 hours for charity later this month. Cameron Hutchison, 13, and his dad Colin, 55, are taking the challenge on mountain bikes for international school feeding charity Mary's Meals in the last week of June. Mary's Meals, founded in a shed in the Scottish Highlands, provides a daily school meal to more than 2.4 million children in 17 of the world's poorest countries, including Haiti, Malawi and Syria. The promise of a nutritious meal encourages children to the classroom, where education is key to a brighter future. Cameron plans to support the charity by cycling the 96-mile, 154 kilometres, route from Mogai to the foot of Ben Nevis in Fort William with 4,312 metres, 12,143 feet, of ascent along the way, non-stop. Kind-hearted Cameron says, "I really enjoy riding my bike and I love that Mary's Meals supports the world's poorest children. Doing something for charity always makes me feel better, but also reminds me of how fortunate I am. Hikers normally take between 4 and 7 days to complete the trail, or 3 to 4 days to complete it by bike. I'll be aiming to cycle the whole route in just 1 day. My little legs are going to be working hard." Throughout June, Mary's Meals is running its annual Active Challenge. From Dalmally to Malawi. By signing up to the challenge, participants will take part in a virtual journey from Dalmally, the village in the Highlands where Mary's Meals was founded, only 12 miles away from the closest point in the West Highland Way, to Malawi, where the charity served its first life-changing school meals. The charity hopes people will be inspired by Cameron to add their miles for from Dalmally to Malawi. Dan McNally, head of grassroots engagement at Mary's Meals, said, "What an inspiration young Cameron is. Not only is he attempting a really tough challenge, but he's also raising money to better the lives of hungry children. No matter how he finds the West Highland Way, Cameron can hold his head high thanks to his fantastic fundraising." To sign up for from Dalmally to Malawi, go to www.marysmeals.org.uk. That's www.marysmeals.org.uk to donate to Cameron's fundraiser. Visit www.justgiving.com. St Columba's Men's Club. St Columba's Men's Club of Kirkintilloch meets in the halls of St Columba's Church on Old Isle Road, and it is not necessary to be a church member to join. The club, which has been in existence for many years, provides a chance for men to spend a Monday evening in very relaxed company and to participate in activities such as pool, snooker, carpet bowls, darts, table tennis and dominoes, or simply to sit and chat. The membership comes not only from Kirkintilloch, but also from Lenzie, Cumbernauld, Milton of Campsie and Bearsden. All men welcome. Day of Embroidery. The Royal School of Needlework is the international centre of excellence in the art of hand embroidery and will be running a free stitch social at the Glasgow Art Club on Saturday, June 22nd, 10 AM to 4 PM. Come with your friends or on your own for 5 minutes or all day. You can bring along any embroidery work with you, join others on a project at the venue, or simply socialise with fellow stitchers. Entry to the event is free. Just ring the Glasgow Art Club doorbell on arrival. Refreshments will be available for purchase at the venue. On the day, Stitch social visitors will also be invited to add more stitching to the Processions banner, which was created by RSN Scotland students for the March in 2018 in Edinburgh. Processions was a mass participation artwork that took place across several British cities. Tens of thousands of women marching, forming a living portrait of women in the 21st century and a visual expression of equality, strength and cultural representation. It celebrated 100 years of when women won the vote. Those marching wore the purple, green and white colours of the suffragette movement, with many holding banners which they had created, including RSN Scotland. The Glasgow Art Club, founded in 1867, is a private members' club for artists and non-artists interested in the creation and enjoyment of art, all illustrative arts, sculptures, poetry, prose, plays, music, song, choreography and dance. Each year, the venue holds a range of exhibitions, events and concerts, such as RSN Scotland's Stitch Social. Glasgow Art Club is located at 185 Bath Street, Glasgow, G2 4HU. For more information on the event, visit the RSN website, RSN Stitch Social Scotland. The Royal School of Needlework teaches hand embroidery at all levels, from short courses for beginners to professional courses for students looking for careers in the world of needlework. Students can learn with the Royal School of Needlework around the UK, including online. For more information, visit royalneedlework.org.uk. Fashion and Beauty pop-up event. If you are looking for a fun day out in Glasgow this summer, which will also raise money for a good cause, why not go along to Adelaide's on Saturday, August 10th? There will be music, local fashion, food, crafts and creative brands, drink and beauty stalls, as well as a photo area and prize raffle with some brilliant prizes up for grabs. This summer fashion and beauty pop-up event has been organised by NSPCC Friends of Glasgow fundraising group and takes place between 10 AM and 3 PM at 209 Bath Street, G2 4HZ. Funds raised will be used to support vital services provided by the NSPCC, including Childline. Event tickets cost £10. Beyond Van Gogh, the immersive experience. Art lovers are to be given more chances to see Beyond Van Gogh after huge demand for tickets for Scottish premiere. A thrilling multimedia show which plunges visitors into the world of Vincent van Gogh is set to have its run extended. Beyond Van Gogh, the immersive experience, is being staged at Glasgow Scottish Event Campus, SEC, where it will open on Thursday, July 11th. It was due to enjoy a 25-day stay at the prestigious venue, which is Scotland's largest exhibition centre. But demand for tickets has proven so high that the decision was made to extend its run for an additional 3 weeks. It means the unmissable experience will now be open to visitors daily until Bank Holiday Monday, August 26th. Van Gogh's works are rendered into three-dimensional, fully immersive scenes that swirl and flow with exhilarating colour and movement. Beginning in the introduction hall, visitors connect with Vincent van Gogh through personal letters he wrote to his brother and greatest supporter, Theo. Visitors then move into the heart of the exhibition, the immersive room, where Van Gogh's paintings are freed from their frames to dominate the space and fully immerse the audiences in his work, awakening their imagination in a dreamlike way as they are enveloped in colourful flowers, cafes and stunning landscapes, shifting and swirling across the projection-swathed walls and floor. Book now at www.beyondvangogh.com. That's www.beyondvangogh.com.
Meet Jarvis, a charming 8-year-old crossbreed. Playful Jarvis needs a home. Jarvis has a friendly and playful nature and is sure to win your heart. He's currently seeking a loving home where he can be the centre of attention as the only pet. Jarvis is full of energy and enjoys exploring and investigating during his walks. While he's super playful, he can be a bit nervous around other dogs, so he thrives on walks in peaceful and quiet areas. Jarvis is fully house-trained and can be left alone for up to 4 hours, although he would prefer someone to be home most of the time for companionship. Car rides are an exciting prospect for Jarvis, as he's always ready for new adventures. If you think you could provide a home for Jarvis, please contact Dogs Trust West Calder on 01506 873 459.
Sport. Ladies football. Walsh extends her stay at City. Irish defender Claire Walsh has signed a new deal at Glasgow City, extending her stay into a fourth season. Walsh is coming off the back of an injury-hit campaign, but remains an integral part of the squad. A product of the American college soccer system, Walsh arrived at City from Peamount United. Walsh was part of City's title win in the 2022-23 season, and head coach Leanne Ross admitted losing her for much of last season was a huge blow. She told the club's website, "In the time Claire has already spent here, she has shown the fans the quality she adds to the team on the pitch, whilst we see every day the professionalism, experience and leadership she brings to the dressing room." After playing such an influential role in our 2022-23 title-winning season, it was a huge blow for us to lose Claire to injury for the majority of last season. Having her back fit and ready for the start of next season will feel like having a new signing in the building and be a massive boost to everyone at the club. I'm so happy Claire has extended her stay at Glasgow City. We all know the high standards she holds herself and her teammates accountable to, and the positive influence she can be on the group. I look forward to seeing her back for pre-season, fit and ready to face the challenges of next season together. Meanwhile, Kenzie Weir and Charlotte Wardlaw have returned to their parent clubs following their loan spells from Everton and Chelsea respectively. Ross said, "With Charlotte and Kenzie arriving on season-long loans from WSL sides, we had high expectations around what they would contribute to the team, on and off the pitch. You only have to look at the trust we placed in both players and the significant amount of game time they earned this season to know they both more than delivered on our expectations." Rossville youngsters complete a quadruple. It has been a trophy-laden campaign for Rossville City 2011s in their first season playing competitive 11-a-side football. The youngsters were the Invincibles in the Central Scotland Football Association A Division, with 23 wins from 24 games and only one draw, spoiling a perfect record. As well as their league triumph, the boys will be dominant in the cup competitions. City came out on top of the 466 teams entered at their age group to become the Scottish Youth Cup winners. In addition, they were also League Cup and Regional Cup winners to complete a quadruple. In total, the team played 45 games, winning 43, with 2 draws, and their only disappointment was a penalty shootout defeat. During the season, they averaged more than 6 goals a game, as they found the back of the net 279 times, while, at the other end, only conceded 55. Speedway. Younger Piper full of belief after under-21s. Steven Piper is ready to deliver a big performance in the British Youth Championship once the weather allows it to get underway. The first standalone round in 2024 was due to take place at Ashfield on Sunday, but was postponed due to rain. A new date for the meeting is to be arranged, meaning the opener could now be in Birmingham on July 15th. Piper, younger brother of Glasgow Tiger star Ace, says his recent experience in the British Under-21 meeting gives him the belief to deliver in the 500cc class. The 15-year-old, who rides for Ashfield in the NGL and Scunthorpe/Sheffield in the NDL, said, "I felt I did really well in the British Under-21 a fortnight ago. I was one of the youngest riders to ever be in the final and I scored 3 points. I also thought I was on the pace in all the races, so I know that my level is pretty good. It won't be easy. There's some really good riders in my class, so I know it will be tough. I've done a lot of laps at Ashfield, so I should feel confident there, and it's always good to race on your home track. I really want to do well in my home round, but I won't set myself any big targets. I just want to make some good starts and make it easy for myself. Hopefully, I can get to the final. That's my only aim. Glasgow Tigers return to action with a double header against Berwick Bandits this week in the Championship. The first match will be hosted at Ashfield on Friday before the Tigers travel to Sheffield the next day. Article by Phil Lanning. Junior football. Ashfield Old Boy is the new manager. Ashfield has appointed Neil Shoneyville as its new manager following the departure of Michael Oliver. Shoneyville is no stranger to the club, having played for them in the 2016-17 season and has been a regular visitor ever since. He steps back into the dugout having been a player and then manager at Les Mahigo Juniors for 7 years before leaving to play for Newman's United in the latter half of last season. Shoneyville admitted he was delighted to see the Gow team he built go on to win promotion from the West of Scotland 3rd Division under Duncan Sinclair. He said, "I was over the moon to see Les Mahigo going up. It was mostly my team, so I knew the boys had it in them, but I just felt they needed a new voice in the dressing room, and Sinky did a great job." Last season, Ashfield just missed out on promotion to the Premier Division, prompting Oliver's move to Darvel. Pre-season training got underway on Saturday, as Shoneyville prepares to have a crack at getting them up this time. However, he is unlikely to be taking an active part on pitch at this level, despite impressing in the 4th Division for Newmains. Shoneyville said, "When the Ashfield job came up, I put in my CV as I was keen to return to the club. I know there is a good committee here, and I would often come and watch when Les Mahigo didn't have a game, so I was no stranger to the place. There has been an overhaul of the squad from last season. A few left and a few went with Mick to Darvel, as you'd expect, but we had a squad of 20 ready for the start of pre-season. We're working hard to get a couple more, but we'll be ready for when the season kicks off on July 27th. It's going to be difficult to win promotion with the likes of Kilwinning Rangers, Rob Roy, Irvine Meadows and Kilburney Ladeside sure to be up there. There are all Premier Division clubs, so it will be very tough. We'll just be trying to finish as high up as we can and see where that takes us. I won Player of the Year after my 15 games at Newmains last season, but I think having turned 42 on Sunday, playing at this level might be a bit too much for me now."
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Tune Review and to tell your friends about our service.